Just done with. More people call me about the Republic. I'm like, oh, call City Hall and call the club. You can't get anywhere with the Republic. You get a call center in Oklahoma or something.
No.
Yeah, I just don't use this. No, I got this.
Yeah.
This computer wants to open it with whatever.
Well, then they quickly changed her assistant.
Mine's
This
telling me
year.
the weather. That's cool.
Is it gonna rain tomorrow?
It says heavy rain tomorrow and it has a little picture of an umbrella. I don't even know what made it do this. Did you put that on there, Brian?
Did you load it into something?
He's ignoring me.
Oh, were you talking to me? I'm sorry.
Good about.
I'm sorry. Are you talking to me? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
I said it's.
Are
it says
you talking to
Heavy
me?
rain tomorrow with a little umbrella. Did you put that on there?
No.
It's pretty gnarly. I didn't.
I guess it was charged for a couple months.
Oh, that's up to you guys. I guess.
You never know.
Third leading scorer in the country this year. And weather and then.
Alright.
And that gal coming in from Villanova.
Yeah.
Supposedly they were high on that. Yeah, from Arkansas, that 6'1" girl. Oh, yeah. She has a
Transfer.
something.
I don't think that's good. California.
They had a good class. They had four top
This
ones.
legal description I've ever seen.
Coming in. North.
It was quite long, yes.
And that's for what?
That's for the Rock Falls Travel Center.
So she's, she got four good freshmen.
Right, we just started digging down in that. Back in the town. We'll see if we find. I don't know if you, I don't think you found the map right.
No, Shane didn't have anything. Okay. Are you set? Cool. Yep. It is 6:30. I'd like to call the city council meeting to order. Would you call the roll, please, clerk?
Bruckner,
Here.
Cruz,
Here.
Mahaffey,
Here,
Schlegel,
Here.
Travelt,
Here.
Tickler,
Here.
West, Zeidema.
Yeah. Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You do have a written report from the chief of police. First of all, chief, is there anything you'd like to add, or are there any questions for the chief?
Forgot to add, I did apply before Chief Pedro left for, I guess it would be equipment grant from the United States Deputies Association. And I was approved and I got 3 level 4, would be bulletproof vests that have plates in them. They're the highest rated you could have. So I was able to get 3 and they're probably $1,000 a piece. So
Wow.
we'll put those in probably the day shift cars in case there's, an incident during the day. And I think that was probably about all I forgot to add in this week's report.
All right, thank you. Nathan?
Yeah, I haven't been here a while, so I have a little list of stuff here, so. Michael, you ready?
Yes.
Ribbon cutting ceremony, I don't know if I talked about that, we did a ribbon cutting ceremony, a couple weeks ago at the disc golf course, Cove Park, that went really well. A lot of good feedback with that. We had spring soccer, I canceled, thought the weather was gonna be bad, but it really wasn't that bad, could have had it. But soccer's over now, We had close to 100 kids. Bingo night was last Thursday. We had 24. The next one will be June 13th. We're gonna do it a little bit different with Bartos. We're gonna actually have like a family, so it won't be just Golden Agers, it'll be a mix of everybody. So that one should probably be pretty big. Youth Army Boot Camp has been open, it's free. Sergeant Colton Smith from the Rock Falls Armory is gonna come again, and we're gonna, play around with the kids, do some relays and exercise and drills and stuff. I think he's gonna bring a, one of his military vehicles, so he can go through it. That's on May 31st at 10 a.m. T-ball registration open today. Last Saturday was the Whiteside County Chargers. Everybody probably heard they forfeited, well, not they forfeited, but the team forfeited. They're supposed to play, so they just did a scrimmage against each other, and you know, it's free for everybody. They did well. They're a little rusty. They need a little work, so it's kind of good that they had that little you know, scrimmage. And let's see. Next Monday will be the Morrison Outdoor Parks Adventure registration will open. We have Danielle Gapinski from the U of I Extension and 4-H Youth Development. She's going to teach pollinators about trees and birds at 3 locations, which will be at the Complex, Waterworks Park, and Kelly Park. Got it, Mike?
Thank you. Treasurer, do you have anything? Okay, we don't have a treasurer's report. We do have other items. All right. There are 3 items on the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to remove those items, any of those items? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda, all 3 items?
Second.
Any questions about any item on the consent agenda or any discussion?
We have, the payments that we're making to, like, we made to God's Will and to the city. About 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the Historical Society always nominated people for that. We've done away with it. We stopped the program. But now, doesn't Morrison Area Development also have a program available? And it's the last time I think I remember reading it, it was for anybody in 61270 could apply for money. So I'm wondering why we're paying and we've got money, or Morrison Area Development, we gave them what, $360,000
For the facade improvement,
Is that for facade? Yeah.
Yeah, that's for the building improvements.
those are just handed out in loans, right? Those
Right,
are grants. Those
MMPC
are
only
gap
does a small
loans.
business loan. They don't grant any
Yeah,
money, because I thought it was supposed to be,
If you read the
Granted
paper,
from-
though, it's $20,000, or you can apply up to $100,000
for a loan,
For
no?
a-
loan.
for a
Well,
loan.
yeah, for a loan, yeah, yeah.
And then when the historical group always, we had $2,000 in the fund, because I went to a lot of the meetings, and they would, if somebody brought a bill in, then they would set the figure of how much they pay, to 500 or whatever the case was. So I'm wondering why we've got some duplication, why we're paying, if these people would go to Morrison Area Development.
Apples and oranges to a certain extent. There is a standing city ordinance under the historic preservation that has a downtown building facade program where they reimburse up to 50% of a project once approved. And within what is budgeted each year. For many years, we've been budgeting $5,000 each year. And so those two businesses went through the process and they were approved. Historic preservation then approved the costs and the reimbursement, and they were paid.
When 5,000 is gone, it's gone.
Yes,
The way it
unless,
works.
if somebody makes a request beyond that, then the historic preservation will still go through the process, but it would come before the council to be approved then, if it's beyond what was budgeted. So basically, if anybody else comes this fiscal year wanting to be reimbursed up to 50% of a project they might do to their facade, they'd have to go through the process, but come here before you guys to be approved. Because
How
it's
much we got
about,
left?
well, there's less than,
Can't be much.
no,
Almost
no.
4,000.
Yeah, a little over 4,000 was paid out, so there's not a lot left. But it's always your discretion to expend any unfunded balance in case somebody came through.
So first come first.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, it probably depends on when it's being asked for, right? I would think if it's early on in the fiscal year, they probably aren't gonna give it all to one person, you know what I mean? But if there's like a couple weeks left in the cycle, that, not a lot of people apply for these funds, right?
Right.
I mean, because frankly, I don't know how much you can do with that amount, not a ton.
Well, it's part of it was the work had to be done,
Mhm.
and they were given.
Right.
Money.
Further questions or discussion? If not, clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travell,
Yes.
Tickler,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Zeidema,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, for, excuse me, items for action, the addition of territory to the enterprise zone. City Administrator Melton teed that up in his note. Unfortunately, it takes several pages because the description of the Whiteside County Economic Development Zone is very long and very legal. But basically what they're doing is adding a territory east of north-south State 40 and north of the Interstate 88. And I think part of that goes to the tire business that burned in Rock Falls, and there are other parts set for other businesses in that zone. So if there's a motion to approve, and second, we can get that on the floor for further discussion.
So. Second.
So again, we are members of the Whiteside Carroll Enterprise Zone. They ask us to approve additions to the zone, and they have included an entire legal description of the zone plus the addition of the added property, excuse me. Is there any further questions? I apologize, it does take 30 pages to describe it, but we have to approve that way, so we can go back to the development zone and say we have complied.
So is Tractor Supply in this zone?
I think it is,
Have to be.
but they didn't request any participation in the enterprise zone program, so. But they still can, they always can, but
They probably don't know about. I don't know about their company.
Yeah,
Why was it tax breaks or?
the enterprise zone, yeah, essentially gives you sales tax breaks.
Like a tip?
Well, just basically your building materials, I'm simplifying it, but basically your building materials to build within the enterprise zone are sales tax exempt.
Right.
So it saves you on sales tax. Is the easiest in a nutshell explanation.
mhm. So again, this is our participation in the enterprise zone, just to expand the zone to include that property. Any further questions or discussion?
Whiteside and Carroll. Together.
Yes.
Yeah.
This actually is a good deal. I'm remembering, I've used, it, like, cause like we're just saying, the facade money, there isn't a lot of it.
Right.
But I mean, if you're to do windows or something in your downtown building, the taxes add up, you know, they'll save you a lot of money.
Correct.
Okay, this does not involve money. It just involves approving annexation of a piece of property. So we can do this by voice vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. All right, now to money. Change order number 1 for hydrant and catch basin project. Increase of $31,844 and some change. Starting on page 56. I think a motion to approve, and then we can get on the floor for discussion. Okay. Again, City Administrator Melton described this in his memo to us from late last week. Are there any questions or discussions about this? Again, starting on page 56. There are no questions or discussions. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travell,
Yes.
Tickler,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Zeidemann,
Yeah.
motion carries.
Item 4 is a payment request. That's not a change, but just authorizing the payment on the hydrant and catch basin project. And that payment is on your page 78. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion? If not, please, clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travell,
Yes.
Tickler,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Zeidemann,
Yes.
motion carries.
Item 5, change order for the water meter replacement project, again described by City Administrator Melton in his memo from last Friday, about $45,000, beginning on your page 79. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Are there any questions or discussion on this change order? Final one for this project. Yippee.
Seems like we got an awful lot of chicken with everything.
Yeah, this is number 8. But believe it or not, that was a good project. We didn't have a lot of problems, just a lot of change orders. Some good, if you remember, we started off with some positive ones where we were saving some money, and then, of course, that caught up to us.
Is this all a problem of our engineers, not?
No, it's just a lot of times just unknowns.
Yeah.
So. Any further questions or discussions?
Do we always budget change orders in these projects?
Yeah, that's the only way that they are.
10%.
That's why
yeah,
moving
we-
forward, I would say,
We budget 10% on
Contingency?
Yeah.
yeah, for
and is that
projects.
fairly accurate in past.
Yes and no. We've had some good ones and some more
I
difficult
would just say
challenges.
moving forward, we should up that, just. See what I am.
Keep in mind that a lot of these change orders, especially with the water, are all, I don't want to say all, because some of them were only a certain amount of principal forgiveness, AKA grant funding from the EPA. And so like half of the water for you newbies, the water meter project was about $1 million project, but in the end, we will only be getting an EPA loan for half of that. So while you see the change order numbers.
Yeah.
It works out to us in our favor. So.
All right, clerk, would you please call the roll?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travell,
Yes.
Tickler,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Seidemann,
Yes.
motion carries.
And item 6, a pay request. Again, this is not a change, it's just a request for payment for services we engaged and agreed to pay for. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion on this pay request, Core and Main, in the amount of almost $107,000?
Again, this is, I didn't note it in the agenda, but this is the water meter replacement project, final pay request.
All right, clerk, would you please call the roll?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travell,
Yes.
Tickler,
Yes.
West, Seidemann,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. City Administrator Melton, an update on the strategic plan.
Any day now, you should be, and your neighbors and our community should be receiving their letter asking them to go online and complete the survey. The letter, as the letter will state, those that would rather have a paper survey to fill out will be able to contact the person and the number on that letter to have one mailed to them. Otherwise, you're asked to go online and to do it. And then tomorrow are our focus group sessions in the afternoon. None of you, of course, have to be there for it, but in case you are interested and want to come and listen and observe, you certainly can. They're at 1 o'clock. Make sure I get these right. No, 12:30. 1, 2, I'm trying to remember. Okay, 1 to 2:30, and then 3 to 4:30, and then 5 to 6, 5 to 6:30. So they're broken up with a half hour in between, but you're welcome to show up and observe. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing what happens tomorrow. And then there'll be a little pause because it'll be probably about a month, maybe almost 2 months, really pushing the survey and trying to get those completed before we get into the next step, which will be the workshop with you guys. There'll be interviews with each of you individually, which I'll send out, if I remember, send out the email to you tomorrow, but sometime in June. I forget the date, early June. The NIU group will want to schedule about a half hour with each of you to do an interview individually. And they can do it, most of them are gonna be just through Zoom online, unless you want them to come out and meet with you somewhere, but, and if you feel comfortable, you can come to the city hall and I can set you up to do the Zoom from there if you don't wanna do it from home, so. Be looking for that. I might have mentioned that in a recent email, but I'll confirm that with them tomorrow and get that information to you guys so you can essentially sign up for a time slot. So that's all I have.
All right. Any questions about the survey? Again, that snail mail inbox will be the invite, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the city, the council? If not, a motion to adjourn is always in order.
Second.
Anybody opposed? All right, I declare we are adjourned at 6:52 PM.
Yeah.